For our first group presenting this morning, we have a bunch of volunteers who have stepped outside their normal realm of fighting fires to provide a form of support never seen before in their ranks. Please welcome to the stage the Ashburton District Combined Rural Fire Force Units.
Good morning. Volunteer firefighters throughout New Zealand give thousands of hours to protect their communities. None more so than the 10 rural fire forces in the Ashburton district. But these firefighters also help one another. Here is Greg and Brian to tell their story.
April 2009 saw one of our volunteer rural firefighters struck by a tree limb while extinguishing a fire and killed instantly. November 2009, the pressures of life got too great for another volunteer rural firefighter and he lost the battle. January 2013, another volunteer rural firefighter was assisting a friend by topping a tree. While descending, he fell, leaving him with a broken back and spinal damage. The initial reaction by the rest of the local volunteer rural firefighters was to give money to help with the rehab of this guy, but after standing back and looking at the situation, we could see that wasn't the ultimate requirement.
After several meetings with our Rural Fire Coordinating Group, it was decided that we needed to do something long-term in place to take care of our firefighters and families' welfare in these situations. The creation of the Welfare Fund is only possible because back in 2009, the District Rural Fire Forces came together to form a coordinating group. The Ashburton District has 10 rural fire forces and a common number of 175 volunteer firefighters from diversified occupations, with an increased number of women in the membership. The coordinating group consists of a representative of each of the fire forces and representative also of the Ashburton District Council as a rural fire authority. The group has a key role of coordinating such things as service awards, dress uniforms, social activities and training. It also serves as a formal complement between the council and its firefighters.
While the primary role of the volunteer rural fire forces is to respond to vegetation fires, they also attend other types of incidents such as structure fires, motor vehicle accidents, medical assists, varied emergencies, even having to rescue an escaped parrot from the top of a tree. Some of the vegetation fires attended can take several hours to extinguish. Just in the past week, there were rural fire forces dealing with a blaze in the high country which took over 23 hours working in dangerous conditions to extinguish. Several other volunteer fire forces in Mid-Canterbury attended up to 5 calls on that same day, all due to severe nor'west conditions. This is not an unusual situation at this time of the year, with volunteers leaving both family and employers for a considerable length of time. Several of our volunteer firefighters are self-employed, so when the alarm goes up, the money stops coming in. The businesses which support these volunteers also lose financially.
Many of these situations of our firefighters have to deal with are heavily dangerous, and therefore our crews need to be highly skilled and able to perform these duties safely and effectively. This requires our firefighters to commit to many hours to training. This includes training to NZQA unit standard levels appropriate to the roles they are performing, as well as regular informal monthly training within the individual fire forces and station duty. While our volunteers ask no reward other than satisfaction of serving their communities, the Council, in recognition of this commitment, provides service awards made available through Forest and Rural Fires Associations of New Zealand. These are presented at formal evening put on by the Council for the volunteers and their families. At the last event, competition was made. 175 volunteers amounted to a total of 1,500 years of service to their communities. This includes 2 have served over 50 years and a further 35 members have each completed over 25 years of service.
The coordinating group have also implemented a dress uniform for the volunteers, which consists of a shirt and tie plus a dress jacket, which is presented when qualifying period of service and standard of training is achieved. It has been something that has been the envy of many other fire authorities in New Zealand. Don Geddes, the Principal Rural Fire Officer for the Ashburton District Council, has supported and assisted any ideas put forward by the coordinating group, which makes our work all the more rewarding. The coordinating group also organise an annual family get-together where all the fire forces bring their appliances along, families attend and combine in a good fun day of activities and food for all. The uniqueness of what has been achieved in the Ashburton Rural Fire community has been shown itself at Forest and Rural Fire Association New Zealand Conference, and I believe with the changes in the fire service and rural fire amalgamation, our achievements have been spoken about at government level.
The Ashburton Rural Firefighters Welfare Fund was set up an asset of Advance Ashburton, who administrates our funds. Advance Ashburton administrates several charitable funds in the Ashburton district. They have given to the Rural Firefighters Group a tremendous amount of support and advice in setting up this fund. They are part of a small subcommittee of our coordinating group who develop and dedicate of the trust, design an application for fund forms. This group are ones that rubber stamp any applications, make any changes to the running of the fund, and generally decision makers for our fellow firefighters. The fund got a good kickstart with the Ashburton District Council contributing $10,000. Members since approached the community and helped some service groups have been able to momentum keep going. The launch date was February 2014 and a target of $50,000 was set. This was soon reached and the goalposts were moved to $100,000. The target reached just over 12 months and the decision would carry on and set the target to $150,000. At present, the fund is sitting on the balance of $108,000. The Welfare Fund is the first for any rural fire forces in New Zealand.
Terry O'Neill, our firefighter who ended up a paraplegic, certainly didn't want to sit back and feel sorry for himself. Less than 2 years after the accident, he started talking about doing marathons in a wheelchair. Next thing we know, he's talking about the New York Marathon. Prior to his accident, Terry was involved in rowing, mountain biking and board sailing. He's since gone back to rowing in a modified skiff. This guy is seriously gutsy. What could his fellow firefighters do to help him get to New York? Because his decision to go to New York didn't meet the criteria for our welfare fund, the coordinating group decided we needed to help with fundraiser. This was in the way of a raffle. With donated prizes, we managed to raise $7,500 to help him on his way. He attended the Forest and Rural Fire Association of New Zealand conference last year, and one of the suppliers there found out we were raising funds for him. Carried out a little fundraiser raffle himself, presenting Terry with $1,000 towards his travel. Terry also spoke to groups who then also assisted him with some funding. What an inspiration this guy has been to us in the way he has kicked back after such a severe knockback in life. Any funding that was raised but not required by Terry was donated to the Catwalk Trust. Terry still remains an active member of our volunteer rural fire forces in that he is Deputy Principal Rural Forester for the Ashburton District Council and is the Secretary-Treasurer of one of our rural fire forces.
Putting this presentation together has certainly been a battle, as each time we've set aside to work on it, one or both of us had a fire call out.
In conclusion, we would like to thank Trustpower for the opportunity to present our story and for the fantastic way they've looked after us over the weekend. We wish each and every one of our fellow participants all the best for the awards. Thank you.